This is the anthem that frees slaves. I'm talking niggas trapping off prepaids, no rebates. When you get your shit snatched, nigga, that's money you never get back. Fucking with me, no, I'ma lift that to my wrist, get that itchy feeling from that.
Wagwan brethrens and sistrens, it is Imani Blaze here, and I am back with another video, schmidio. It has been about a month, I'm gonna say, since an upload, and I'm just happy to be here. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna get into the making excuses as for why I haven't been here for a month. I'm just gonna really just be honest and true with you guys about the fact that I have been dealing with my own downward spiral, and I had to make sure that I took the time to be with myself, to get myself back on the up and up before I was showing up on camera. Now, y'all already know. If you're new here, then you don't know, but if you've been here, then you do know that I speak openly and honestly from my own life on mental health, trauma healing, childhood trauma healing more specifically. Most times I'm just raw, real me on this channel. And so whenever I just don't feel like I'm able to really be myself on camera, I just don't show up. And so I'm gonna be transparent about what's been going on, and then I'm gonna also bounce into the reason why I show up the way I do. So full transparency, as some of you already know, I have been on this journey to stop smoking weed. And for a while, I was doing great until my birthday back in April. For my birthday, on my birthday, I broke down. For lack of better words, I'm gonna say I broke down and I smoked. And from then, it was a downward spiral. So my birthday was April 3rd. I smoked on my birthday, and then I think I was good for like the rest of that week. Like I went out with a friend. She took me to brunch and we smoked, and I don't believe that I smoked the next day, but then I think I might have smoked like that weekend or something like that. And then it was 420 weekend, and I went to a 420 fest with my fiance with the understanding, or so I thought was the understanding, that I would be able to like dibble and dabble in the herb and then go back to just not smoking. I thought I was in a space where I could smoke and I could go back to not smoking. Like I could start to find this balance. I thought that that's where I was. But in all actuality, I learned once an addict, always an addict. That's just how I feel about the herb for me and my specific situation. And I speak openly and honestly about my own situations because I know that there are other people out there that are most likely navigating these same situations. They just don't understand what's happening. So I talk about what's going on with me, so that I can kind of like turn a light bulb on for somebody else that might be living in the darkness of denial. And that is what it has been for me for the longest with my journey to just quit the ganja altogether. If you go through my videos, I think it's still there. I had a playlist of like the weed fast, and then I don't know if it's still there, but I stopped making those videos because I just didn't feel like I was in a space to like be honest with you guys when I decided that I was gonna cave. And I wasn't in a space where I was like fully fasting from the ganja at all times. Like there was a moment where it was like, no, I'm off this, like no. And then when I caved, I felt like a hypocrite. And so I was like, I'm just not even gonna come back talking about this. This is where this break has come from, because I just took a break from making videos, vulnerable videos, because I wanted to be in a space where like, nah, I'm really being real with my people. I'm never gonna get up here and fake it with y'all. I'm never gonna do it. Never, never. And because of that, and because I had fallen into this downward spiral on my birthday, or in April, back in April, I felt like I'm a hypocrite if I even, not even a hypocrite, because I felt like there was a moment where I was like, well, okay, I'm just going to get back on here and be honest with my followers, with my subscribers, and let them know that I'm struggling again. Like I'm back in the habit of smoking and I'm struggling again. But I didn't feel like that would help anybody, because it's like, how many times are you going to go through this cycle? I have been going through this cycle of like trying to quit for years now. So it's like, I feel like that level of vulnerability would have started to lose power if I showed up in that way. But I don't know, because I'm still telling you what was happening. So I don't know if I'm losing power. You tell me in the comments. I don't know. But right now I'm back in the space of like successfully breaking the habit, not being on the weed and not falling into temptation, being able to like really talk myself out of those moments where I wanted to cave. So now I feel like, okay, well, I can come back to them and speak on just the benefits of not smoking, and I can speak from a real standpoint without turning off this camera and having a crying fit because I really genuinely want to smoke weed. I'm not there now. I am back in the space that I was last year and the year prior, where I was like, I don't need it and I don't have the craving for it. That feels so good. And that's just what's been happening. That's why you haven't been hearing from me, because I've been just going through that roller coaster, and really spending more time with God, less time doing all this yapping, yippity yapping. I just been letting God talk to me, and yeah, so we're good again. We don't need the ganja, and I'm at a point now where I am making the active decision to like say, I don't need it at all in my life anymore. Like I'm not going to try to get back to a point where I can have a balance with it. I can't do that. Once an addict, always an addict, and that is what it is for me. My dad, he told me like that was the reason why he doesn't do any type of drinking, or he doesn't do anything, because he spent so much time doing those things. And for a while I thought like, you're a bit extreme. Like, I'm really proud of you for being able to stop drinking, smoking, doing all the things, doing drugs. Like, I'm so proud of you for being able to stop, but like live a little, my guy. And I used to think like he's really extreme, like he's really over the top. But now I get it, because it's like, I've never done crack, but for me with weed, it's like crack. Like, when I successfully get up off the weed, I'm good. I feel good. I'm high off life. I have my energy. I have my time back. I got my appetite without needing to roll up. Like, I feel good. But when I cave and I let those thoughts come in that say, oh, it's okay. Like, you've been doing so good. Like, it's okay. You can do this. And then you don't have, like, you can go back to not smoking every day. It doesn't work. I hit that thing, and baby, it's downhill from there. It's rolling up every day, rolling up before I go into my days, rolling up before I eat. Like, it's not good for me. Once an addict, always an addict. I have an addictive personality, and I know this about myself. And I've just reached the level of healing, I guess you can say, where like I'm finally okay with admitting that, and I don't feel bad about it. Like, there was for a little while I felt bad about myself, like, wow, you're really an addict, like you really can't control yourself, like you really don't have discipline. Yeah, like, it runs in my family. It runs in my blood. So if I'm saying that I'm a generational healer, if I'm saying that I'm the one that's going to break this cycle, I have to actually break the cycle, and I have to be the one to say no to addiction and leave addiction where it's at. So right now, and I don't even want to say right now, that looks like a sober lifestyle. So I still don't feel like I'm in a space where I can like speak with like confidence about a sober lifestyle and stuff like that, but I'll just share that it really feels good to like have come to this realization, and it feels good to be able to be disciplined in that. And honestly, this is all just like God-led. And I said this in videos before, like if it doesn't feel good in my body, that's how I know it's a no. Like no matter how I try to justify it, or no matter how I try to make it make sense, it's a no. Point blank period. It's a no. So when I say no to, sorry, my brain just went blank for a second. When I say that I'm saying no to substances across the board, that means alcohol, that means wine, that means any substance, it's a no for me. And I know that it needs to be a no for me because of the way these things make me feel. When I decided like, okay, we're good, we're disciplined again, we're off the weed again. Okay, well, you could pour a little glass of wine, you know, it's a Friday night. You could pour you a little glass of wine, get a little bit loose, take some of this edge off. Like, you can do that. I'm drinking wine and I don't feel good. Like I genuinely like feel nauseous. I don't feel good. And I wasn't drinking cheap wine. And this is wine that I've been able to drink before and I was good. But now I'm drinking it and it just don't feel good. Like my entire body, mind, body, and spirit is a no. It rejects these substances. So anytime now that I try to indulge, I genuinely don't feel good about it in my body. And that's God's way of keeping me on my path, because this path isn't easy. And there are times when I want to get up off the path for a moment, take the edge off by indulging in a substance. But God has told me like that's not the way. Anytime that you want to get away, come to me. When you want to get away, come to me. And so that's just what it's been. And it's been like this surreal, like, I just feel like I'm like floating. The downloads are just like so crazy. Like it feels good. It feels good. And it feels good this time around, like coming up off the weed. It feels good to not even have dealt with any withdrawals, because like I feel like God is just like making it easy for me, because God knows my heart and knows that like I genuinely want to be able to be disciplined. And like the first time I went to stop smoking weed, it was like true withdrawals, like didn't have an appetite, couldn't eat, none of that. This time around, I didn't have to deal with any of that. Like I still had my appetite the next day, busting down food, like it's all good. So that's what's been going on. Now, I'm gonna kind of switch gears a little bit, because the thumbnail probably enticed you to click this video for the other part of what I wanted to talk about. And I just want to talk about why I show up, and I'm going to go briefly here, but I just want to talk about why I show up so authentically, so real, so that you never get it twisted and you never see me as someone that I'm not. And that reason being, you cannot trust these super duper spiritual namaste influencers. Like, you just can't trust it. And anybody that only shows up online in a very specific way, they are trying to control the way they are viewed. And me personally, I don't feel like those type of people can be trusted. So where is this coming from? So I'm randomly scrolling threads and I see Gazelle Monet, which is Hindsight's, well, now ex-fiance. She is like going on this whole rant about her relationship ending with Hines and the details to the why this relationship has ended. And I'm over here like, oh, clutching my pearls, my imaginary pearls, like, oh my God. But I wasn't surprised to hear, well, not hear because she wasn't speaking, read. I wasn't even surprised to read the things that she was saying transpired between her and Hines. She was basically saying that he cheated on her while they were doing long distance with a 21-year-old. She's been dealing with narcissistic abuse for the last 2 years or however long they've been together. Like, it was bad. And here I'm not even gonna hold you. I stopped really subscribing and listening to Hines religiously about 2 years ago. And there was something, like, he didn't really change his delivery. He was still delivering himself in the same exact way, but my intuition said like something's off. And the way he looked started to look off. And so I just stopped listening to him religiously. And the few times that I would like want to hear something inspirational, there would be a few times that I would be like, I'm gonna listen to Hines. And I would go to listen and I couldn't even finish the whole message because it was just something that was off. I've dealt with this and I've gone through this with like every influencer that I have ever taken interest in. And it's because I have the ability to see through this controlled image that they want to give to us here on the internet. That shit don't work with me. I see straight through that shit and I'd be like, yeah, I'm good. I've made a video before about people in the spiritual community, like them being toxic, like the hood healer. I'd be like, wow, you really still okay. And there are a number of influencers that like they flock to them, and people will call me a hater for saying the things that I think in my mind when I come across their posts. But it's just like my intuition tells me that there is something else going on, happening behind that mask that is being shown. So that is the reason why I show up the way I show up, because I never want to wear a mask. Like I say this in the beginning of most videos. It is my hope that as I continue to show up, taking a mask off, peeling back these layers of myself, peeling back these layers of myself on camera, it's my hope that I can inspire you to do the same exact thing. So that's why I show up authentically, because I don't never want to be caught lacking like that. Like what? I was still following Hines, but now I've unfollowed him. I've unsubscribed to everything that he has going on. And I'm glad that I've never purchased anything of his, because to be able to treat women the way that he treats women and like not address it and continue to like uphold his image online, like that's cringeworthy. That's disgusting to me. Do I know Hines specifically? No. Do I know his ex-fiance? No. Do I know that there are two sides to every story? Yes. But do I know what it's like to experience narcissistic abuse? Yes. Do I believe the things that she is saying? Yes. So that was enough. That's enough for me. So I'm gonna just leave it at that, because this is a little bit long. I'm here just moving through the motions. More videos, more consistent videos will start to come back now that I feel authentic in my delivery again. Now that I'm more clear-headed, clear-minded, I feel better about being back talking to you guys. So that's that on that. Stop subscribing, or not even stop subscribing, but stop being so invested in these social media influencers, myself included. If you ever put me on a pedestal, knock me right on off. I'm gonna knock myself off that pedestal. I don't desire to be on a pedestal at all. And yeah, that's that on that. I love you guys. I mean it. Mwah.